And some surprising news on the job markets this morning. The January jobs report was released just a short time ago, and it showed employers added 517,000 jobs last month. That's significantly higher than what was expected. But those gains come as more companies, particularly in the tech industry, announce big layoffs. Companies like Google, Meta, Amazon, and Microsoft cut tens of thousands of workers in the last few weeks in order to trim corporate budgets. Our Bianca Fascini is in Washington with the January jobs data. Hey, Bianca.
Hey, Lindsay, good morning. We are looking at a much better jobs report than expected. As you said, 517,000 jobs added to the economy, bringing the unemployment rate down to 3.4%. Most economists were thinking we're going to see the unemployment rate go up a little bit from 3.5 to 3.6%, and it really blew estimates out of the water. I mean, most economists were thinking we would see somewhere between 185 to 190. Some estimates were around 300,000, but that was sort of looked at as a little too rosy. But clearly those economists were onto something, because this report came in as such a surprise and better than what we saw in December. And what's so interesting is that typically with the January jobs report, it's a weak month for employment. And that's because certain industries like retail end up shedding a lot of jobs that they had hired for the holiday season. So what happens is with this report, a seasonal adjustment will be made to make up for those losses that economists know are coming, which can also explain why there's typically a pretty wide range of estimates for what is to come. But another thing to consider here is that we've gotten a lot of really interesting labor market data in terms of just general economic data too. I mean, past couple weeks have been GDP, inflation, Fed talking on Wednesday, announcing another interest rate hike. But just yesterday, we learned that weekly claims fell for the fourth time in a row. And then the day before that, we learned that there were more job openings in December than expected, not by much, but nonetheless an increase instead of a decrease, all suggesting that the labor market is still pretty strong. One thing I do want to point out, though, is that on Wednesday, when the Fed announced another interest rate hike, Fed Chair Jerome Powell did say, you know, it's nice that the labor market has been able to remain strong, but that doesn't mean that will continue. You know, things could change, things are still changing, and inflation is still high, and interest rates are still rising. So perhaps throughout the winter and the spring, we could see changes in the labor market, but right now we can see that it's still pretty strong.